Welcome everyone. My name is Jessica Wu and I'm the chair of today's 2022 summit.
This presentation is about a hackathon. So what is a hackathon? How to create a winning project for hackathon? And what is the best platform for hackathon starters? Quotation over here. This is a Vince Lombardi. You know, the National Football League, the big cup, right? Is named by this guy. So he said, winning isn't everything, but wanting to win is. So we should be motivated to win because we participated in a competition. So, and the hackathon is a competition. So what is a hackathon? Well, essentially, if you don't know already, right? Hackathons are programming competition events that can last anywhere from 24 hours to a week, maybe even longer. The purpose of the hackathon is for a group of programmers to work together on a collaborative project. So we work on the same project. Most hackathons are competitions where many teams are competing to create prototypes that innovate on a theme or improve upon an existing project. So, you know, hackathon has a plenty of benefits if we participate in it for the participants. Let me address a couple of them. Number one is the networking. To me, networking is very important because whether you are success in the future is largely dependent on the people that you know and the people know you. At the hackathon event, you will usually meet people who have the same interests and skills as you. And this creates a perfect time for you to network each other. Don't forget to exchange contact information with your fellow coders. You know, a lot of times, trust me, you will have a chance, end up with a chance to collaborate each other in the future. So number two is it's going to add value to your resume, especially a hackathon participation looks very good, believe me, on your resume for college admission, for internship, and for other, you know, other situation. So this hackathon participation that tells people that you have the programming skills and experience, and you have strong motivation. That's very important, and you know how to win. Okay, so and third, it's a great chance to create concepts and ideas. Believe it or not, a lot of ideas are created in hackathon. Let me show you one example. Look at here. Okay, Facebook chat is probably one of the best hackathon projects turned real. So a lot of times people got ideas from the hackathon events and they turn it into real product and earn a lot of, well, that's create the business or enhance the business, right? You know, last but not the least, right? So hackathon is an opportunity to extend your involvement to a lot of whole other things like technological innovation. We know a lot of innovative projects are created in hackathon, and also, you know, a science fair for high school students, right? That's a index 10 activity, right? And also, you know, a programming competition like I think the most famous one is the USICO, right? USA Computing Olympiad. That's probably the most famous programming competition. And there is a whole lot of, you know, programming competition as well. Okay, so that is what I want to say about the hackathon. I just want to give you a brief explanation what that is. And, you know, so let's say this way, if we look at here, the event can be open or closed. What does that mean? It's sometimes it's open, which means our event, our hackathon, this particular hackathon will be open because you can do your work at home, offline, and then you compete at the final day, right? And some of them are closed, which means you don't have any, you don't know topics, you don't know nothing. Okay, you guys gonna be like locked in a hotel or somewhere, and you spend like 24 hours, 36 hours to do your project. So that's kind of like a close one. Okay, it can last from one day to many days, right? Ours will be open from now. You can start from now. And hackathon, usually hackathon don't have a focus, right? We have a focus. It's called the autonomy of we have a specific theme this time. Okay, autonomy of thought, tackling misinformation and online echo chambers, right? So yeah, we're gonna talk about it later. So, but anyway, we have a focus, but we don't have a problem. Usually we don't assign you a problem to compete. This is different from UCICO. UCICO gonna give you a specific problem to solve, but we don't. We give you a theme, give you a focus, right? Okay, so let me give you an idea about a hackathon project. This is all these projects. We're gonna demo a couple of projects. All the projects are coming from, it's most of them, if not all, are coming from Kevin May.
Welcome to 36-Hour Fitness. To get started, we can either create or join a room. In this case, we'll be joining the leg day room. During the exercise phase, as you can see in the top row, there's the fitness video itself, a live feed of the webcam, as well as some session information and a leaderboard. And in the bottom, we have some analytics about the user's performance, starting with their score over time computed using pose estimation and dynamic time warping algorithms, as well as some suggestions on whether they should focus on elbow, neck, knee, or hip angle to improve their form. So the user's doing pretty well right now, but what happens when things go wrong? As you can see, even though the user is just a little bit off, his score doesn't tank because the dynamic time warping algorithm understands this temporal difference and accounts for it. But when the user is doing something completely wrong, of course he has to work on everything. Finally, here's the system working on a different, faster computer with another student on another video.
Okay, so right. So that I just show you a hackathon project, which is a project at Hack MIT in 2020. So what they do is we do the fitness, right? So how good you are to follow the video at home in this COVID-19 period. That's number one. Number two is, okay, I follow the, when you follow the coach, you probably follow the coach, follow the instruction, follow the gesture, but you don't follow at the exact time. Usually, the student's gonna have a delay for a period of time, and the delay can vary from time to time. So the problem is you're gonna see whether the exercise is right, but you don't match the time. So essentially, they create a very good user interface with a whole bunch of like a video or like a meters diagrams and dynamic stuff panel to show the information, while they at the back end they develop a machine learning algorithm to to fit your gesture, to match your gesture from to the coach's gesture, right? How good you are. So that's essentially an example of a hackathon. Okay. So the next thing, when we look at it, what skills and knowledges are involved? So we're going to say, hey, programming, of course, programming, graphic design, yes, graphic design, right? We want to make it beautiful. We want to make it look better, and we want to make. Sometimes graphic is not only for like sometimes it can be functional. It's not necessarily non-functional. Okay, interface design, right? How the usability, how you gonna application interactive with users. And the project management, definitely. If you have like a more than one people, there is a management, right? So to team together. And we need a domain expert, yeah, who knows a specific domain on whatever the field you are, whatever, topic you tackle about. And also, yeah, you should have a business mind, because if essentially what the judge has, well, judge is like investor, right? You're going to convince him to give not money, or maybe money, right? It could be money to you. Yeah, he has like a first place and second place and third place. Okay, so everyone want to convince these a couple of guys to say, hey, give me the first one, give me the first prize, right? I heard there is like hundreds of dollars of prize for the winners. So essentially, yeah, they are investors. They are, you are an entrepreneur, and they are the shark. If you look at the Shark Tank program, TV program, right? So all these are needed in a team. So, okay, so what we see from here, strength lies in differences, not in similarity. What does that mean? If you want to, okay, so if you're on a team, right, as a person, you should have some skills. It's called strength. This strength is different from others. You have to develop some unique skills, and this can be contributed to a large impact. That's my understanding of this saying, right? Stephen's saying. So we need a team, and with a team with different skills, that gives us a strength. So this is very, very important, especially for some like a Chinese students, because we spend a lot of time to pursue a high GPA. While we do that, nothing is wrong on that, but we're gonna think where is our strength? How can we contribute in the society, right, with unique skills and knowledge? All right, so how to participate? When you participate, you're gonna look details, you're gonna understand the process and participate in every step. Don't miss anything. It's not an excuse to say, sorry, I didn't see that. No, that's not an excuse, okay? So for this one, I'm not an organizer. I just talk about hackathon in general. But here, take an example. The organizer is Green Apple Education Foundation, and the name is Fourth San Ramon Hackathon, and the topic is, autonomy of thoughts, tackling misinformation and online echo chambers. There is a little bit more information in the description of the event website, and also you can find a whole lot of information on Google. Yeah, just go ahead and research on that. And the restriction. So we're gonna be aware of restrictions. This is very important. A lot of guys, they apply, they submit application and realize, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not qualified, or I lack of skills or something. Okay, number one, qualification. For this one, check out the qualification. I believe it's gonna be middle school students and high school students, right? The OS, I don't see it. I think it's open. You can use any kinds of computers. Either it's a Windows computer or it's a Macintosh computer, or it's a Linux computer. It doesn't matter. You name it, right? Programming language, I think it's still open. I don't think, I mean, you can use anyone. You can use Python, you can use Java, you can use whatever language you want, C++, whatever, okay? However, look at the qualification. If you are not high school students, check out whether you are qualified. Where's the registration deadline, right? When? That's June 13th, and when to start? Well, the organizer says you can start as early as you are aware of this competition, right? You can start now, right? What you're gonna submit, video and PPT required by a deadline, so you check it out. And what is the event date? That will be on June 19th at 9:30 a.m. Okay, I just want to remind someone, I mean, a lot of guys like myself, a lot of times I do things at the last minute. That's not a good habit. Okay, when people say 9:30, you're gonna always remember, this is a general rule. You miss a lot of failures. Okay, you will avoid a lot of failures if you notice this. Always be ready 30 minutes ahead. Okay, that's an advice I want to provide. Okay, so yeah, if you want more information, you can check out. This is the website. I'm not gonna go through that one for today. There is a flyer over there, but go check out this link. There is probably more information. For example, the price, right? How much is the first price? You probably going to be very interested in that. Yeah. Okay. So about this one, I probably can provide a little bit information. I mean, a start point. Maybe, okay, so there is a lot of places you can start with your research on the topic. This is one of them. The one of them is the, this is also from Kevin Main. He was invited to GPU technology in 2020 in November of last year. He presented his presentation along with two CEOs of two other startup companies. So there is it's really cool. I'll show you what he did for the fighting misinformation. So here's the video.
The first demo application is the custom text fact checker, where the user can input anything they would like checked and then hit the button. The first thing that happens is that an intelligent AI module called the Claim Spotter scans this text for factual and relevant statements. Now, once the user wants to check a certain claim, they can click on it, and here the claim checker is employed. As you can see here, the evidence that we've retrieved disagrees with the claim, and you can see all of that evidence here. For additional information, you can actually click on any of these panels, and an additional model will query it, and it will give you a detailed analysis of everything that is being used to make the decision. Next, let's take a look at the smartphone app. This is especially useful for things that are happening live, like a debate with a friend or even a presidential debate. People have been quarantined because of the coronavirus. Here, as the user speaks into the microphone, the transcript is converted from speech into text, and the claim spotting module is applied. After the claim spotter is applied, the claim checker then checks all checkworthy claims. Remarkably, this happens in real time, thanks to fast deep learning calculations paired with parallel processing. The next demo application is the Chrome browser extension, which you can see up here. What users can actually do is they can go to any website that they would like to. I'll just go this one, for example, and then it will follow the same process. It'll locate all the important claims on the page, highlight them, give them your checkworthiness score, and then, as you can see here with the API, it'll begin querying the claim checker to follow that same process to make sure that each claim that is highlighted is correct. And what you will ultimately see here is this nice interface where you can determine that this article is most likely true. And for any additional information, you can click on one of these claims and it'll direct you to the actual claim page where you can locate more information. Next up is the video checker, where a user can upload any video they like, and upon clicking the button, a speech-to-text algorithm will transcribe the speech into text, and then the claim spotter will be used to identify important parts of the sentence to check. And then finally, the checked claims will be displayed here for the user to view. For more information, please check out my published research paper, my project report, or my poster. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so there is like a 4 applications of how to fighting misinformation. So you're gonna check fake news. That's number 1. You can you can record. You can type in a statement and check whether is that right or wrong. The second thing is you can open your browser. You just install the extension. Chrome extension to your browser. That browser is going to highlight everything about true or false that is trained by artificial intelligence. Number 3 is you can actually convert a speech from voice to text in order to check whether it is true or not. And also there is another one, I think it is very, well, guess what? They want to provide in the presidential election, they want to provide, do you know, in California itself, there is like a 40,000 positions who needs to, you know, to be elected. So the election, I mean, there is like a whole lot of thousands of positions who needs election. So they need to debate, right? So this is some tool that you can capture your opponent, right? You know, the other party, that anything wrong, any mistakes, mistake statements in the real debate. And also it is good for the trial debate. So, well, this is something, right? You can start with this one. You can search on this one. If you need more information, probably there is another place you can check out Kevin's personal page that he has something really cool on this. If you look at the 36-hour fitness, that's the grand prize in the Hack MIT. And also the one that we just mentioned, there is a lot of things, a couple of more things. Some papers about the fighting fake news. So that's where you can start a research. Oh yeah, of course, you can start from anywhere, but this is a good point to start with. Okay, so another thing is, you know, aside of ideas, sometimes idea is, see this guy, right? Ad Catmull. What he said is getting the right people and the right chemistry is more important to get the right idea. Okay, so if you have a good idea, that's not sufficient to be successful. You know, to success, you need to, you know, a team of people, that's good people, right? Let's see. Well, let's jump into the next one, the next topic, how to build a winning hackathon project. Number one, I want to say, yeah, you got to plan to win. As we said, winning is not everything, but want to win is, right? You're going to target to win. If you don't target to win, you won't win. How to target win? I think there is a couple of things I want to, you know, I want to say. So number one, you have to be motivated to, you know, to attend a lot of hackathons, not the only one, but this is one for sure, right? So you gotta be like hungry to win, and plan and prepare for hackathon in advance. You're gonna be prepared, study how to prepare, study topic, seeking an ideas, you know, ideas, right? And sharpen your programming skills. Yeah, don't think you are ready for everything. No one is ready for everything. So for any campaigns, you need to sharpen your skills as well and find your team. That's something, you know, to do a good preparation, especially if you are first-time participants. You're going to be really, you know, serious about understanding the process. Okay, the second thing is you're going to form a good team, right? A good team. You know, I mean, needless to say, a team is very important. That's just we mentioned. But what kind of people you want to include? This is my suggestion. This is my personal experience. Number one, first, good friends. Yeah, it is very important that a team have good chemistry, right? When the team has good chemistry each other, it will be easy to work under pressure and create like a cool stuff, right? So good friends are among of this. Number two, what kind of number two? The guys who has prior experience, right? Obviously, experience is very important. If you do a thing, the second time you're gonna, you know, the second time you spend like a half of the time of the first time. Why? Because the first time you don't have experience. If you have experience is important and precious. So get someone who has experience. Number 3, okay, when you find someone who can supplement your skill, you don't want a whole team knows exactly the same thing. As we said, you need someone who knows front end, back end, the graphic design, leadership and business process and domain knowledge, right? So you need all kinds of people. You need someone to supplement your knowledge instead of you have exactly the same knowledge, right? So, okay, yeah, I really want to say one more thing. Well, actually, we mentioned that, but I want to emphasize that you need someone a good leader. Yeah, a good leader is critical for a team to ensure a success, right? You can look at a lot of companies, right? Whether the companies is good or not, right? Engineers, I don't think that engineers are, or managers are much different. The difference is the leader, right? That's what they do and who they hire. That matters. Okay, find that will ensure your success. Okay, so what else? Okay, build your team, right? Okay, and then validate think through your ideas. Yes, you're gonna think. Well, initially you probably have no idea, and then you have a whole lot of ideas. And then you probably need to narrow down to one idea and also limited number of features. You don't want to do everything, even for one thing. You don't want to do every aspect. So you're gonna think through this, and you're gonna validate your concept. What does that mean? You probably think this is so good, and you got excited. And let me tell you one thing: a lot of times, this idea may not be good. There is a lot of drawbacks. Maybe someone has already done this. There are a lot of reasons that most of the time, a good idea that you came up with may not be a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so what you're going to focus, right? You're going to focus on what's called an MVP, minimum viable product, which means when you do, this is a prototype. Okay, another way to say is this is a prototype. You don't want to do everything. Okay, you're gonna do main features that attract the people. You don't care about some trivial features, but what are they? You and your team gonna needs to discuss what should be included in the MVP. Okay, what you're gonna give up. Okay, know your audience. Sometimes, yeah, you should know your audience. I think different audience, they judge the thing a little bit differently if you really want to win the first prize. Why is that? Because it's not critical if you don't win the high prize, but if you advance the very high, different people, they are subject. People are subjective. If he is a businessman, he probably gonna give a little bit more weight on business side. If he is an expert, technological expert, he probably gonna, judge more, give more weight on technologies. And if he's a teacher, I think he probably gonna be a little bit balanced. Yeah, just know a little bit about your audience, but especially for this very competitive hackathon, right? Okay, choose the right approach, right? You're definitely gonna choose the right approach, right? So what kind of environment, what kind of programming language, and what you're gonna develop This is what I want to recommend. Always focus more on front end than back end. What does that mean? The front end is people going to see, right? People going to interact with. So if you fail on that part, people are going to lose confidence on your application. So you're going to be focused on your front end, okay? Your front end should be fully functional, okay? Don't let people seize you with some mistakes. And at the back end, it's not necessary to be perfect. Set up a back end, that's a huge amount of work, and people knows that, okay? And for hackathon, the purpose is demonstrate your idea and see its feasibility. Okay, so another advice I wanna give you is pause yourself with short breaks. What does that mean? Give a little bit of rest. Okay, a lot of times I see 3-4 people, they don't talk each other. So don't leave me alone. Okay, I have something to do. I don't want to eat. I don't want to. I think you should break. Just like in the company, we have sync up meetings every day, right? Yeah, even like 10-15 minutes. So people know what we're doing each other, and people are gonna give advice. I mean, avoid a lot. I mean, create a whole lot of better idea. Maybe other people, your team member, gonna maybe enhance your idea. Maybe they can point out a lot of possible mistakes you would make. So that is important. Okay, have breaks. Okay, treat yourself. Don't just typing. OK， 然后我们中文叫做只埋头拉车不抬头看路，这个不行。All right, so last but it's absolutely not the least, right? It's more and more close to the judge, right? A presentation is spend a lot of time. I know everyone has a limited amount of time. That's a restriction. However, plan sufficient time for your presentation. A good presentation gonna definitely lift you. And if a poor presentation will make a good project fail. Okay, let me give you an example of a final presentation. It's a live presentation.
Check it out later.
All right, thank you.
Joint positions on
stop you from achieving your workout goals.
We have a trainer or a friend next.
All right, thank you to Navscape for their presentation. Let's go on to the final team, 36 Hour Fitness.
Hello, today we present to you 36. Slide.
Hey, Julie, I think you cut out. Do you want to just?
Oh, okay. Oops.
Good.
And it says my internet connection is unstable. Okay. Hello, today we present to you 36 Hour Fitness, your AI-powered personal fitness trainer. Because of COVID and social distancing, people can no longer go to the gym or attend in-person workout classes like they used to. Have you ever felt this way when doing a workout from home alone? No longer do we have a trainer or a friend next to us in person, pointing out what we're doing wrong and which way we should actually be moving our arms or bending our knees. A lot of these workout videos that we now rely on are difficult to follow and actually do correctly. Take Chloe Ting's ab workouts here, for instance. Lots of people have difficulty replicating her moves, and doing the workouts incorrectly isn't as effective and can even possibly cause you to get hurt.
So that's why we built 36 Hour Fitness, because social distancing and a global pandemic shouldn't stop you from achieving your workout goals. So 36 Hour Fitness is just like being back at the gym. You get and having your own personal trainer. You get real-time coaching and feedback on your exercise, making sure that your form is right. That's really important because it allows you to improve your form, which helps you prevent injuries and get a more efficient exercise and workout experience. Furthermore, our website has a gamification model that allows you to exercise and compete with your friends, encouraging you to exercise and giving you the motivation you need.
And we've automated our entire product end to end to make it as easy as possible for the user to use. And so just to jump right in, here's a quick demo.
Fitness. To get started, Welcome to 36 Hour Fitness. To get started, we can either create or join a room. In this case, we'll be joining the leg day room. During the exercise phase, as you can see in the top row, there's the fitness video itself, a live feed of the webcam, as well as some session information and a leaderboard. And in the bottom, we have some analytics about the user's performance, starting with their score over time computed using pose estimation and dynamic time warping algorithms, as well as some suggestions on whether they should focus on elbow, neck, knee, or hip angle to improve their form. So the user's doing pretty well right now, but what happens when things go wrong? As you can see, even though the user is just a little bit off, his score doesn't tank because the dynamic time warping algorithm understands this temporal difference and accounts for it. But when the user is doing something completely wrong, of course he has to work on everything. Finally, here's the system working on a different, faster computer with another student on an
Yeah, so I'm just going to pause this right here for a couple seconds. You'll notice that right now, my elbows aren't matching the instructor's. Like while she has hers up, mine are still down. And you'll see in the bottom row that it's for elbow angle, it says, watch your elbow. But the other angles, it says that I'm still doing a pretty decent job. But in a few seconds, you'll see what happens when I put my arms in the right place.
another video.
And now you can see that the elbow angle indicator has changed. So to make all of this work, we've used and combined quite a few different components to make up our tech stack. And you can see some of the tools that we've used in the bottom row right here. But the three main components of our product, the first is the pose detection system. The second is dynamic time warping, and finally, we have our workout scoring algorithm. But for the first step, we need to find a way to get the pose of both you and your virtual fitness instructor. And we do this by extracting 17 different joint positions on each person through what's called the PoseNet neural network algorithm, which was developed by TensorFlow.js.
Now, I think the next component is actually one of the coolest parts of this, and it's called dynamic time warping. And if you look at the top right, this GIF will tell it all, because what happens, due to latency or some other issues, you're just a smidge off from the ground truth, which is any video you can pull up on the internet. What if you're just a little bit off? Your score shouldn't completely tank. And if you think about this from a technical perspective, if you just take one snapshot at the same time step, you're not necessarily performing the same component in the move. And that's why we use dynamic time warping. This is an algorithm. It's a dynamic programming algorithm that can essentially map any pose at time t from the instructor to any pose, not necessarily at time t on the student. So that way we can make sure that the score is actually based on what moves you're doing and not if you're exactly doing it at the exact same time. So that's one of the cool parts of this application. Moving on, I think one of the most interesting kind of components of this was that for me as a developer, I got addicted to this system, and it's something that I would honestly really use. So a big part of that is the part where we talk about, let's just say, the social aspect, where you're able to compete with friends, you're able to get together, watch a single video, because sometimes it's difficult to stay motivated when you're just alone. But in this case, we have gamification, we have tips on how to improve your form, and etc.
There's also a lot of applications for this. It doesn't just go for workouts exclusively. It can be applied to things like dance classes for fun and things like physical therapy. The options that you can do with this are kind of widespread because it just uses a general algorithm that we have created in order to make sure that your form is right and matches someone with more experience and more talent. Yeah, and that's all. So 36-hour fitness allows you to get better exercise, be more efficient, and work out with your friends. Does anyone have any questions?
What was the name of the dynamic time warping tool that you used?
So this is just it's a fairly standard DP optimization algorithm, so we implemented it.
Cool.
And one question, only semi-familiar with DTW. Do you have to provide, I think, sort of like a cost function or a cost matrix? Because if my memory serves me correctly, it's unsupervised, right? And it basically is sort of like an unsupervised, almost like clustering over a time dimension to try and map two signals together. So if I'm not wrong, can you just comment on what kind of assumptions you made or what kind of cost function you used?
Sure. So the cost function is just defined very simply as the Euclidean distance between the ground truth and the video. And so just to like bring this up, since I don't think we clarified that exactly, you can like select any video you want and then upload it, and then you can figure out how to match that video. So you're absolutely correct. We define the loss function as I just mentioned. And then there's also another component to this, like you don't want your dynamic time warping to be matching your moves that you did at the beginning all the way to the end. So we have to impose some kind of window constraint. And this is also, well, yeah, a window constraint. So this is a fairly well-studied problem, and so our proposal is to integrate this non-trivial integrate this solution into a non-trivial problem. So, yeah.
Super cool. And I guess just as a final question, can you comment on what you might think some of the limitations might be? For instance, like does pose estimation fail on certain people, certain body types? I guess what would be the biggest weakness that you could see?
Yeah, I can actually cover this. Brandon, if you can go 3 slides forward.
Forward, like down?
Forward, yes.
Right.
Yeah, this one. So if you look at the algorithm refinement, one problem that we had with a lot of videos is that it's like they constantly change angles, right? But the problem is with OpenPose, which is a 2D model, we can't really figure out what directions people are facing. So in order to solve that and be able to use workout videos in which people are at like 45-degree angles or like portfolios or something like that, we can use multiple cameras, i.e. like 2 laptops or a laptop and a computer or something like that, in order to create a depth perception and like get a 3D model that could help solve for that. That's the biggest problem that I think we're facing, and it shouldn't be too hard to fix.
I'm a little confused. Did you say you used OpenPose and PoseNet?
Oh, sorry. We use PoseNet. OpenPose is just, I think it's the original research paper that it was built off of or something.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
I'd love to see the code for this.
It's all on GitHub, so you can check it out later.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so thank
Okay, so that's an example of the presentation. There is a couple of components, right? What is your problem? What is you're gonna validate your idea? What you're gonna pitch it? What is the benefit and what you're gonna do? Especially what is the innovative part, and also you're gonna present what kind of applications. We want to see a lot of applications. How we're gonna use it, and maybe answer some of the question to evaluate your, the challenge part of your work. So, but so that's there is a lot of examples. You guys can find it in the website. I believe in the competition website there is a couple of like a pitch. It's really a good one. They are really good ones, so you can learn from there. All right, so the next one. So yeah, I know many of you know programming, right? You know some programming language. You have some ideas about the programming and building applications and software development. Okay, what if okay, so if you want a team, if you want a team together, you're gonna find someone who you guys all know. You all know this, right? It's sometimes it is not easy, and that's number one. Number two is, especially for starters, right? You say, hey, I don't have a whole lot of programming experience. Maybe I have some like a fundamental programming experience, but not seriously. Like I take a class like a AP in the high school, maybe some like a serious camp study, right? Okay, if that is the case, you're probably going to raise a question and say how to select a programming platform for starters. So essentially, what I see is a couple of things. Number one, it must be educational. It should be, I mean, not must be, it should be an educational platform for computer science. What does that mean? So if this is a computational, if it's a computational platform, gonna give you everything you need, okay? Not more, not less. So that's why it's a computational platform. A lot of good platform, they are good, but they are working environment platform. They are not educational environment. So they may or may not be a good working environment, may or may not be a good educational platform. That's number one. Okay. Number two is you're going to focus on computational thinking, especially for starters. A lot of guys trying to say, hey, I want to know different languages. I tell you one thing, for a decent programmer, a programming language is nothing. Okay. So if you know 5 programming language, the 6th will be like it's pretty much you can start work on that without any like a learning curve or with little learning curve, right? But the important thing is the computational thinking, the critical thinking. Here's the thing, especially for people, a lot of people, they hate programming. If you heard about that, some people hate programming. Why is that? Because programming, you're going to do 2 things at the same time. Number one, think about the logic, critical thinking. The second, coding, right? I'll tell you one thing. Look, raise your left hand. You draw like a circle in the air. Can you do that? I bet you can do that. Okay, raise your right hand. Write squares. Draw squares in the air. No problem. What if you do the 2 things at the same time? Draw circle and do circles. I don't know how to do that. Can you do that? I bet very few people can do that. Most of people cannot do that. Not all, most people. Pretty much everyone cannot do that. Why? Because we are such an animal and creature, right? That we cannot do 2 things at the same time. Okay, focus on one thing. If you want to do that, draw a circle first and draw a square the second. That will make things very, very easy, right? So what does that mean? That means you need to do one thing at the same time. And especially this is like, but if you do 2 things, you probably, it's really hard. It's really easy to fail on both, right? Okay, and sometimes we choose one thing on another. For example, if you play violin, you usually a lot of teachers say, hey, go play piano first and then study violin. Why is that? Because if you play piano first, you hear the right pitch. Your ear will be very good, and when you play violin, you know where to press on your string, right? So this is really important. It's called what? Scaffolding, right? Scaffolding or staging. The staging is very important because a lot of solutions, all solutions is about staging. What is the hardest technology? Semiconductor, right? Semiconductor industry, right? Okay, from the raw material to the IC, right? The chips. So everything is staging. Okay, so the key is create such an industry, a flow that we all work on on different stages. That's the key. This is the same as when we learn things, when we pursue excellence. So you're gonna find your staging. That's very important. So focus on computational thinking. That's very important. Number 3 is high efficiency with significantly shorter learning curve. Yeah, definitely. That's what I want to say. When you yeah, so if you get the right order, do one thing at the same time, get the right order, the sequence, right? Do something first and something second, something third. That will give you a very high. I mean, that will be very efficient for you to learn. And you're gonna. What is the result? What is the consequence? The consequence is you learn the same thing with a significantly shorter amount of time, right? So that's one of the criteria I select the platform. And another thing, a good thing for educational platform is it is a shortest path to any major programming language such as Python, C++, and Java. And also the second thing is easy to translate. I mean, what about if I study this kind of thing and it's hard? Well, it'd be hard to translate to. I mean, if how much time I need to spend if I want to learn like a Python or C++, given I understand such a selected platform. The shorter the better, right? Usually the educational platform gives you that will reside on a central part to any other, central position to any other major programming languages. And believe me, it is very easy to translate. Why? Because I have an experience with Kevin. Kevin did MIT App Inventor in 7th grade. And in 8th grade, he did a project. Actually, that project won the first prize. Actually, the best in show. There was only one best in show. There were 4 grand prizes, and among the 4 grand prizes, one best in show was selected. He won the best in show. That project won the best in show, and and he spent like and one day I found he passed the UCICO Gold, and I was surprised. I said, "Hey, I never know you started to study like a Java or C++, and how did you get there?" He said, "Wow, that was very easy. It's a mechanical translation from the platform, the MIT App Inventor, to Java and C++. He spent like 3 months and passed the UCICO Gold division. So, and along with him, there was quite a few other students. They passed the Gold as well, and I think the best one passed the Plimpton, right? So that's what I want to say. Sometimes it's not the best idea to jump into a real programming language, especially for working programming language. It's probably a good idea, especially for starters, to stay in the educational platform, and then that will help him to high efficiently move to to the destination. This is the same like if you want to go from the ground floor to the second floor. No one can jump, right? No one can jump to like up to like 3 meters. That's not possible. But it's easy to get onto the second floor. Why? Floors, right? Stepping floors. Yeah, you need several steps to, if you divide it into several steps, that will make things better. And then another example is the violin and the piano. If you study violin, that's going to be very slow. A lot of guys, study violin from very beginning without learning piano. It's essentially end up with nothing. And well, for those guys, the right thing is you're going to study piano first and then study violin. This is the right order. So that's what I want to say, how to select a programming environment. Okay, so I want to say, yeah, MIT App Inventor is such a thing. It's actually, there is a hackathon MIT App Inventor is a platform that we can use for hackathon. Okay, so I will briefly introduce this platform, but before that, I want to invite you to watch a video of Kevin that tells a story. This is his college application material for MIT and even for Harvard and Stanford. He submitted the same thing, but described how he developed his skill and interests in programming. Well, what he basically says, he developed the MIT App Inventor is very important in his experience. Let's see. Okay.
Hi there, my name is Kevin and welcome to my Maker portfolio. Let's dive in. In 7th grade, I started programming in MIT App Inventor, an expressive yet easy to learn language. One year, noticing students getting hurt due to glaring problems with the school bus system, I programmed an application to improve communication by checking kids on and off the bus and providing tracking features. This project is currently in talks to be tested by some schools in the area, and it showed me how powerful technology can be when used for positive impact. In 9th grade, I learned my first general-purpose programming languages. This enabled me to build an ultra-low-cost integrated business intelligence solution for a small business owner, which got me my first ever paycheck. In 10th grade, I began taking up a serious interest in machine learning. After a close friend was hit by a car, I developed a deep learning system that could predict dangerous actions from drivers even before they made them by analyzing their behavior. I presented my work at the International Science and Engineering Fair and had a technical paper accepted to an international IEEE conference. Following my burgeoning passion for research, I joined my first lab the summer after 10th grade, where I led a group of 4 students developing new ways to identify claims that should be fact-checked in order to mitigate fake news. After that summer, I continued working with the lab independently, developing new models and algorithms, programming a demo, and writing a first author paper submitted to the web conference in Taipei. Enter 11th grade. Inspired by an injury my grandma sustained while in the dead zone of a security camera, I ventured to build a system that could see through walls. Drawing from MIT C-Cell professor Dina Katabi's work, as well as experts from around the world, I designed a new deep learning approach to looking through walls. I've presented this work to judges at Intel ISEF, the National Security Agency Director General Nakasone, 7-Eleven Labs, and the AAAI and IEEE conferences. Ultimately, creating has become part of my identity, one that I hope to carry at MIT and beyond.
Okay. Essentially, all the applications are created by Kevin, by himself. And the first one and the last one, the game, the poker game, that was the one he created at the seventh grade. Essentially, what it does is you can randomly draw 4 cards, right? And you can calculate using any operations, addition, subtraction, or multiplication, division, to make the 4 numbers into 24. So I think a lot of us already played that kind of game, right? So he made that. He can internet. He used the Wi-Fi to connect anyone in the world. Having Wi-Fi can join them, can join the game. So that is the one he liked. He even played that. When he has time. That's the way that he make friends. So that's MIT App Inventor is a very good platform. It's created by MIT professor at Google, and then it moves back to MIT Media Lab. MIT Media Lab is one of the most famous lab, right, in MIT. And you don't have to purchase any software essentially. So everything is web. It's web based, and also it is a blocking programming paradigm, which means it uses the blocks instead of the actual code. However, it's very powerful. I try to use it. I use it to teach UC code from nothing, no knowledge to to UC Brown's division problems with my students, and 100% of them were able to do that. So with this one, so that's amazing. All right. So I want to say, yeah, there is a if you do that, there is a you can deploy your application onto your cell phone. Usually, this is a very difficult task if you use other languages or other environment. And also it has an open community. You can ask questions, you can discuss. And MIT App Inventor has a gallery. If you can publish your any of your projects. There were how many projects are there? There was like a 40 million projects over there. So that in the gallery, and there is like 10 million developers using MIT App Inventor. This is a larger group than Python and Java. Okay, so right. There is a lot of things, and the last line, if you look at that, the ideas and contributions you can submit to Google Play, which means if a lot of downloads and people gives you a high rating, you started to earn money automatically. Okay, so yeah, we can do a lot of things. I want to say one thing. Is that difficult? No, it's not difficult. Let me before I jump into what we can do with my IT App Inventor. That's probably one of the last slides. Right, I want to encourage everyone to participate. Here is the sentence. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. Okay, so what we can do with MIT App Inventor, number one, if you look at that, the first bar over there, right? So we can study basics of programming, including like just basic programming ideas with any other programming language. At the end of this class, the last assignment was to tackle a UC problem. The second one is the artificial intelligence. We can do intelligence. Okay, if you know, I know many of our parents, right? We know you guys are AI experts. So we have like 5 core concepts in AI, right? Multi-layer networks, convolutional, CNN, right? Transfer learning, recurrent neural networks, and some embedding and generative models. So these can be covered with the MIT App Inventor. Also, as I said, within a short period, as short as a week or two, so we're able to start to solve UC problems. That's possible. And look at the last bar. So with MIT App Inventor, there's a lot of technologies we can implement. And what can they implement? Cloud computing, that's a buzzword, database, web development, interactive maps, like a Google Maps. You can add extra layers to show your interests, right? And network connection with Blue and Wi-Fi, right? Internet of Things. And also machine learning and artificial intelligence. I think I have put it in a separate box at the second place. So, right, so there is a lot of things to do. If you look at these, the MIT App Inventor is a great, it's a great platform to, to do hackathon, right? Yeah. What is the takeaway of today's presentation? Hackathon is a great activity to participate. I want to convince you. If you still say no, that's my failure, right? Okay, so number 2, aim to win using, it's very important, and you're gonna use your left brain and right brain at the same time. What does that mean? It's a left brain, usually we deal with like a technology, mathematics, and logic, right? And the right brain, we're gonna execute our arts and creativity and some other things, right? So this hackathon is great. It's very comprehensive. It's a great event, and MIT is one of the best platform. I try to convince you it is, right? Okay, so and some additional takeaway is, you know, MIT App Inventor is fast and solid. It's really easy, believe me. It's fast and solid transition from MIT to C++, Java, and Python. It is almost mechanical. Yeah. Okay, so what is the what about the distance between C++ and Python? They are very far apart, right? I know many parents, you know that. Okay, so, and also extendable, you know, this hackathon extendable to programming contest like a USICO and a science fair like a ISEF, right? And robotics. Actually, yeah, MIT App Inventor is very good to interface with single chip, 单板机, single chip, single board chip computer, like a Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and ESP32 or something like that, right? There is a lot of like a single, that's a cheap computers, like some $20, $30 computers, little computers. Yeah, so MIT App Inventor is easy. I mean, it's a good tool to interface with them. So that's all I want to talk.